gorgeous. I'm the Fairy Voice Mother, and I was just wondering if you would like to be left at ease and in a relaxed state after a magical musical journey that is at times turbulent. Because that is a description of today's band style from the founder of the band himself. It's fine if you're not looking for that. I've made lots of other videos for you that will not leave you feeling relaxed. It doesn't exist. It's probably quite the breeze going on in that parrot's undercarriage. So it won't be awkward or anything. If you happen to have indeed decided that you are going to leave now, just give me 5 seconds because I want to show you something that I'm really proud of. And it is across my chest and general torso. Allow your voice the chance to bloom. Like all great things, you need time too. Yes, you do. And so do the strangers that you meet in the street. So head on down to the shop. As you can see, it's really good for advanced dance moves. I've had this concept for a while, the anatomical components of the voice being depicted as flowers, because flowers and the voice are two of my favourite things. So I'm really proud of this, and I hope you enjoy all of the items that we have on offer. International shipping is free if you spend £70, and because you are wonderful enough to watch this video, I'm going to give you a discount. The discount code for 10% off of everything is My Voice is Blooming, and you'll find all of this and more at thefairyvoicemother.com/shop. I hope you choose to twin with me imminently while spreading the good word of the larynx. Without further nonsense from me, let's begin today's music and vocal analysis. I am so excited because I've wanted to do this for so long. I keep seeing the thumbnails come up and it's tassel-y and face painty. The one thing that I value above everything else from an artist is a strong sense of identity and a shamelessness and pride in the music that they produce. Those that are not afraid to go balls to the wall with their vision. I love that. It's my jam. So I think I'm gonna like this very much. Oh. This is like this. Someone smuggled a tiny little canary. I was gonna say smuggled a budgie, but that means something else anyway. Ooh! Oh, wow. How beautiful. They've made that look like water. Oh my goodness. It's so mesmerizing, it's difficult to stop, but I have so many things running through my mind that I fear that if I don't stop them now, it's just going to be a deluge of things that I have to say later, and that probably just won't be fun. First of all, commitment to the theme is right where I thought it would be. So this is a live performance, I think it said at the Hammersmith Apollo. Assuming that they're going to perform live at many other places, they have transported the essence of ancient Nordic spiritual wondrousness to West London. I'm sure that is an expensive logistical nightmare, but this visual really is conducive to their world and transporting us there. So I would say it was worth it. I don't recognise this language at all. The closest thing it reminds me of is Valyrian from Game of Thrones. So I've got no idea. As much as I love languages, I don't feel the need to no in this instance, because I do feel like in some weird way I am understanding the essence of the music without knowing details, and it's rather liberating actually. So I'm just gonna continue to take all of this at face value and see how it makes me feel, because it does seem to be that is the intention of the band anyway, to feel at ease on this musical journey, and I do. So it's working and I haven't understood a word. What is especially interesting to me is that it's very, very normal in terms of the notes. Often when these kinds of ancient musical instruments are used, we don't get standard 4/40 equal temperament. We basically got used to this note being 440 hertz because it was agreed upon by like the International Pitch Party. It's not called that. But anyway, because before, all of the different orchestras, specifically in Europe, were tuning to like 435 or 432, and it was really difficult to move around because tuning a piano is very bloody difficult, and we needed to agree. So fine. That's an A. Cool. Neat and tidy. If we stay here for a while, we're like, oh yeah, I know these notes, but you don't. These are secret notes. Except they're not secret. Many ancient instruments are tuned to completely different frequencies. You expect to enter a new realm in terms of frequency. But no, to my ears anyway, and not only are these frequencies very familiar, there are also very few of them. At the moment, we've just kind of gone between. And the melody is quite monophonic as well. It's often sitting on this note, which is a fifth to this bass note. And then when the bass note goes here, it's a sixth. It's very simple, yet very strong. And likewise, the time signature is not particularly wild either. It's very easily divisible by 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but with a lot of syncopation. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Meaning we get loads of little mini beats inside the big ones at times that we wouldn't expect. And so the current objective lack of musical strangeness makes it all the more endearing because like it's so encompassing, and I don't know why yet, apart from pure vibes. It's my professional analysis. Okay, I was about to pause it when I could no longer. Whisked aboard the throat singing train before I gave my permission to get off. But she rather wonderfully gave us a bit of a premonition of the vocal style of throat singing before those other three came in. When she hit her low notes, she had a very, very specific resonating chamber to do so. Notice how she sings these notes, the ba-da, da-de. Can you hear that? How she's using her tongue to create some very subtle overtones and a really unique amplification of that resonance, as opposed to more of an open space. It's and so without changing anything about the voice, you create a really unique and it's just very spicy. texture. And this uniquely spicy resonating chamber is actually very handy if you want to amplify your lowest notes. They will have this spicy sound to it, but if you don't mind that, then it works a treat. Use the word bird in that accent, like bird. Bird. Just by effectively scrunching up the tongue and lifting the larynx a little bit. So because this resonance area becomes so small and crafted, your vocal folds can do all of their slacky things and trust that they will be resonated just the way they are. They don't have to push loudly to get sound, which is why trying to force your voice down when there's a low note coming, which a lot of people do, it actually just keeps your voice stuck. Just one of those quirky things.
I'm not like other girls.
You know, I just want us to have another listen at these three and their blendy wendy voice smoothie, because it was just so exquisite and intricate. So you've got, in no particular order, Braid Lady with some Foley swooshiness. Mr. Main Event there with the antlers. Which is often just a combination of your true vocal folds, the ones that go ah, with your false vocal folds, the ones that go which you might be thinking sounds very much like the recipe for a lot of metal vocal distortion, but it doesn't sound anything like that because of this same placement that the lady was doing initially, which is the which is the tongue retraction and the larynx lifting on and so a way to try and locate certain types of throat singing is to start with this placement. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And then the next person seems to be complementing the throat singing lyrics with a clean, higher version. It's got this kind of sort of tone to it. And I was just replaying it a bunch of times and I was like, oh, I can't hear it. And then I put this one on. It's because they have panned it to the right. That very much makes me believe then that is indeed the person that was doing that, and then the person on the left was doing the windy sounds, because that's how they've planned the stereo image. But then I did see that there was someone else with a mic as well, so there could be additional additions just contributing to this delightful vocal trifle. If you don't know what trifle is, it's a traditional layered dessert from my culture. Sorry, it's ridiculous.
Basically, this is what is that trifle up there? Is that homemade trifle? Oh, go on, darling, give us a bit.
It's just the first thing that I could think of that had layers and was pleasant. Oh, that chord change is so powerful. It looks like she was covering one of her nose holes there, aka nostrils, to get those very, very high piercing notes. That is a thing. I love the little to bring it in as well. That was cool. Ah, okay. So this is a beautiful, crystal clear, stable, thin, meaning it's mode 2 as opposed to mode 1. But it doesn't sound anything at all operatic, does it? What I think she's doing is some kind of partial blockage of the nose to encourage a sensation here, because if you can feel the sound start to travel in your nose, which you would do if you partially blocked it because there's more concentration of resonance, you can focus the resonance there even more and just keep that cycle going and making sure that that voice is resonating where you need it to be. I suppose an advantage of singing a high note into the nose is that you can get a little bit more of a concentrated sound. It's just a very specific way to get a fierce and piercing vocal quality. The other singer that does this to extreme levels is Defa Youssef, which I still can't listen to with my mouth shut because it is just like... That's a whole nother video. In contrast to when she comes down for this which does have little pushes of hissy breathiness to it, as well as this kind of tremolo effect that she does with this same voice placement. You definitely notice at least a subtle shift away from the nose and into the mouth. Cool. All those dynamic pulses there of the so beautiful. She also uses glottal stops for this same effect, which is the sound. Ooh, it's like little pops of joy. Especially the way it works in conjunction with the onsets of the bow on that rather unusual stringed instrument she's playing. The timbre of the way the bow strikes the string like that is it's kind of similar. That was so magical. And I'm not just throwing that word around like a woman with no arms. I mean, it was actually magical. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think it's just like a D major 6 chord. Just the tone of the voices that made up that chord, it was like ascending. You know the way that when it's really cloudy, especially at sunset, and then there's a little gap in the clouds, and then the sun just comes through all orangey and beautiful, and you're like, wow, is that God? It kind of felt like that. I'm not exaggerating. That was absolutely blissful. And that's why it's so magic, because it's not completely out of the box musically. Tension and release and build up is a total thing. And they absolutely did that, you know, with the ba, 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 ba. This sort of tribal gallopy rhythm that we had throughout kept us driving all the time. And the fact that they deliberately kept the harmony very sparse, we never had any more than 2 notes together really at the same time. Just a bit of that. Until now we get this layered chord and oh gosh. And this is, I suppose, what they mean when they, I don't know who they is, but say less is more. If you do less at the beginning, and you have loads and loads of space that remains ambiguous until you show everyone what that space was making way for, it's an overwhelming surprise. Oh, wow. Whenever a melody is repeated later, an octave higher, it pretty much never fails to make me feel some type of way. It's just something about the doubling of the frequencies. It's literally double the feels. Focusing particularly on this melody, for example, where she does the turning into so you can't just without any sort of technique, because it's going to fall apart because it's such a specific melody. You can do that sort of thing with ad-libs, like if you just want to sort of let rip a big like wah! You can get away with a multitude of sins within reason. This has to be completely under control, and it is. There's no like pushing through it or whatever. She's just fully composed. Managing the perfect amount of breath pressure that her voice requires, maintaining her voice the right amount of thickness so it isn't too thin or too shouty, and henceforth not straining it at all. This end section is just an absolutely stunning mix of both things that we have had before remaining unchanged with new things. So the new things are the chords, the harmony being more complex, and it's her voice singing in the octave up. But other than that, it seems like most of the other things have remained the same. The backing vocals have remained the same notes and the same melody, the same octave. And the guy that does the throat singing techniques, that's staying the same. And so that same melody, yet an octave higher over those new chords, completely elevates us somewhere new, whilst also making us still feel at home. And so therefore they have really set out to do exactly what they wanted to do, because I felt indeed a sense of ease the whole time. And it was those very subtle changes that happened on top of what did never change that gave us that sense of very mild turbulence. I would say turbulence is the wrong word though. It was more like an evolution. You know when you see a picture of someone when they're very, very young, and you know them being much older, so a picture like from 50 years ago or whatever, and you can still tell it's them because of the eyes or the shape of the face or something. The song's essence or its eyes remain unchanged. This is one of those songs where, although on the surface it might seem a bit unapproachable if you describe it as, you know, a group of people wearing antler heads and doing throat singing and playing strange instruments with masks on, it sounds a bit niche, but listening to that, I don't think there's anything niche about it, because I think it was just so human. It was very natural, these vocalizations. There was nothing done that gave me the impression that it's for show. It was more just expressive. The movements were not exaggerated. Some people in the ensemble moved more than others, but that just further cements in me that everyone that's part of this group does what they feel. They follow their musical direction, and it all just seems to come together so synchronously. And I think it was a truly human delight. I really do. And as I am sure that most of you watching this will also be human, it's not a very niche thing to be. Yeah, beautiful. This is exactly what music is about for me, is people expressing themselves. We've all heard many a gong, many borans. I think what has set this group apart and why they are just catching on and igniting something in people is because of how true it is. And that is something that is just inexplicably felt from the energy that you get from the performance. And I got that in droves. That was glorious. I just want to listen to them for hours. I can imagine that one would emerge from listening to their album like just a better person. It's that sort of musical magic for me, yeah. More please. Let me know what song of theirs to check out next. So while you write me a suggestion in the comments, I am going to read you today's oracle card, which is the Manatee of Meditation. And they say, consider meditating, you utter dickhead. That's nice. Are you needing a moment of calm? Did you know meditation is not necessarily about being calm? It's to bring calm. So whether it's walking, boxing, dancing, maniacally, reading, putting makeup on, chores, this can all be meditation. You just need to do it with the intention to bring calmness into your life. What's your choice of meditation today? Well, it will probably be to whip the face paints out and bang my desk with a hairbrush and throat sing. I'm inspired. Thank you so much for hanging out with me over here today. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. The camera just died right at the end. But yeah, I just want to give you a giant hug if you're here at the premiere. And if you are here at any other time, I love you very much and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I'll see you again next time. Bye! They lull us into a false sense of similarity. I've just been to the hairdressers and asked them to blend my natural hair colour into this and get it as close to my natural colour as possible, and this is what it is. I have returned to nature. Oh, this is just a little way of me keeping in touch with my inner unicorn. I genuinely didn't know. I haven't really known my natural hair colour since I was like 16, but now we know. Let's see how long it lasts.